that would otherwise go to waste. So let's see what they do next. Here, pig.
What is it?
So it's some old chicken.
Some old chicken?
Old chicken.
Let's see if they like it. You guys really like that stuff. Welcome back to Blackacre Ranch, guys. It's another day, and it's a very, very good day, because if you've been following along with the channel, you know that we've been working on Pasture 7 to move the buffalo over. So for those that are new, we have 187 acres, and we have designated 7 pastures for a rotation program, if you want to call it that. However, we've only had one of them done, number 6. And we've been spent the last month and a half, 2 months, and we've got all the fencing done. We finished that up, and I've got all the poison ivy to show for it. I happen to be one of the lucky 10%ers in America who seem to be allergic to poison ivy. So if you see all my rashes, you know it's nothing like bad, but it's just poison ivy, right? It really hurts. And anyway, so we're finishing up Pasture 7, and we're going to move the buffalo over by the end of today. And all we have left to do are put on some gates. We've got gates up top, we've got gates down towards the bottom. We'll show you those when we get to them. And a couple other little tidbits to do, moving the mineral feeder, making sure the water's all hooked up, things are all set. So stick along with us, we're going to take you through this. And at the very end, we're going to go ahead and move the buffalo over. We saved the cubes to feed them just for that. Because ultimately, I know some people have mentioned something about how we're using cubes and so forth. It is to entice them and to move them and get them to recognize when to move, and that, you know, in case they got out, they would know the sound, stuff like that. We just hadn't had anywhere else to move them to. So we're going to use the cubes for that, so stick with us. Like and subscribe, please. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, and it always seems to take forever, I know. So if you would just like the video, if I can get it out, and subscribe. Poison ivy and all for you guys, right? Maybe not, but anyways, for the buffalo. So anyway, stick along with us. This is our 20-foot opening, and we went to the store and we got ourselves some gates. We got a 14-foot gate and a 6-foot gate. Part of the reason of that is I didn't want a 20-foot, it's way too long and nobody has them anyway. And I wanted 2 10s, but they don't have those either. So we've got a 14 and a 6, and it'll work out, right? We'll have a nice kind of personal gate if we needed to get into. 14 feet is still pretty big. So anyway, I do want to mention as we start this, we're recording this off my cell phone. We forgot the memory card for the camera at home, everything else we had here. So if it's a little windy, I'll try and edit that out and maybe have to do some voiceovers if necessary to kind of make sure we got our point across. But we want to make sure you guys saw what we're doing. So we'll take some snippets as we go through all of these different things. But anyway, we've got a 6-foot and a 14-foot, and we're going to put them here. Now, I'm not going to give a whole demonstration about how to install a gate. We did that before. I'll put that up top, a link to it, and the episode number. I'll write that here on the bottom if you want to go back and look at it. It was the first time we ever hung a gate, so it's maybe a little humorous, but I'm not going to go through all those directions here. Check that out if you want more specifics. So we're going to get this together. I've never matched gates. We'll do our best. But yeah, come along for the ride. Let's see how this works out. So the 3/4 inch threads, before we've tried drilling a 3/4 inch hole, and it is a massive pain to get it in, so I advise you to go an 1/8 inch bigger. So these are 7/8 inch holes that we drilled, and they go in a lot smoother. Last time we were having to hammer these things for 5 minutes. So anyway.
Lessons learned.
Just put the washer, make sure you have a washer and the nut up front, and then put the washer and the nut on the back, and you'll eventually be able to angle these things by how you move them. So anyway, just get them tight for now, and then put the gate on. So the gates, are different than door measurements. When they say a 20-foot opening, the gate is not 20 feet. Or if it's 10 feet, it's not a 10-foot gate. They measure them to the back side of the hinge. So it includes the gapping. Whereas if you go like in a normal home store and you go buy a door and it's a 30 or a 36-inch door, the door and the frame there is, but then you have to add some for the extra frame for your actual putting it in. So your hole is bigger. These, that's dead nuts. They've already taken that into account with the hinges. At least that's been my experience. I don't know, maybe they make other gates that are different, but this is a 14-foot gate and it's 14 about, not quite, to the back side of the hinge. So anyway, before you hammer this in, make sure you put a bolt and a washer. Otherwise you take it back out. This one's being stubborn. All right, so when you're poking these things in, don't do the mistake like I did once. Make sure you leave enough room between the cross member and the washer to go through. So after you get your measurements from the gate, just adjust it slightly. I've done it before where you kind of almost run into here and you can't get a washer on. So anyway, it's not too bad, just get your measurements right. All right, now that looks pretty level. I'm not going to level it that much. It looks good. This one's longer. As you hang it, it starts pulling, and so you can just adjust the 2 screws either side of the post and hammer the threads back this way or that way and cramp down wherever you need to. So you can angle it, level it, and adjust it. Now the 6-foot, you can tell, we're going to try and raise this guy up a little bit. Either the post isn't straight or something like that, but we're going to try and raise it up a little bit. It also might be just hung lower, which, oops. We do have about a 5-inch gap. We were going to be putting a T-post to support as just a middle support, and so I think we're going to put that right here next to this guy. And then that way it's more something solid in the ground on this end, so it's not just touch a 20-foot span where they could push on. So anyway, we're going to finish adjusting the gates. So we got everything done. We raised the 6-foot up by extending out the bottom hinge. So it's generally there. The ground is a little off, so it's not quite equal, but it looks good. So it's all done. We got our T-post down in the middle. That'll help us give some center support for the lock. So yeah, it all looks good. We came back up. The reason why we're up here is it's hot, man, and it's muggy, and I'm hot. So we're taking a quick break, and the beauty about being on a mountain with 360-degree views is if there's any wind, you get it up here at the top of the mountain, and it's easier to cool off under this pavilion. So we came up here, we're gonna chill for a couple minutes, and then we're on next is the 8-foot gates down at the bottom. And those are gonna be all sorts of weird swampy. So, you know, it won't look pretty, but I'll get the job done. All right, so we'll catch you up down there. All right, so here's our 16-foot span. We got 2 8-foot gates. And this is on that hill, so we've got about an 11% grade. So what we tried doing is just angling these guys in on the posts this way to try and get them to pre-slope. And we have a long shaft, threaded shaft rod, so we got that angle. Now there's a lot of wiggle room in here, so it doesn't have to be perfectly straight, because these are not perfectly straight hinge to hinge, but it works. It turns, not too bad. This is bigger than I want. This is the lower side. We did the opposite direction on that one. And you can see that they're relatively straight, level. There's not much we're gonna do there, because if we raised it all, we'd have a huge gap down here. So we're gonna take this and we're gonna just put a log right here, fill it in, kind of act as a deterrent. We are not gonna be using this gate very much at all. Once we start the rotations, this will be the exit point from 7 to go to the next pasture, which would be number 1. But that's going to be 6 months to a year down the road. So this one right now will stay closed mostly. We're just going to go ahead and latch this up with a lock, and then we'll call this one good. But we're going to grab a log from the woods. But yes, it's a little low right here. It's lower than I'd want, but you know, it's going to be good enough. I don't think the buffalo are going to jump it to get out, really. I don't think they're actually going to come down here very much. They like the top side where the wind is. So, anyway, gate number 2, done. Check it off the list. Next is just getting all these little miscellaneous things wrapped up, and then we're going to start moving buffalo pretty quick. All right, 8-foot gates. We're all the way up here back top side on the flat part of 7. You'll see in the map here kind of approximately where we are. We're just a couple hundred yards away from the north gate, but this was a septic, and in previous episodes we had found that there was a septic tank here as I was mowing and drove my tractor into the septic tank. So it's about probably 3.5 foot diameter or so, I think, if I remember right, somewhere around there. They used to have a pool up here, an Olympic-sized swimming pool, and there was a bathhouse. And this was the septic for that bathhouse. They filled in the pool. It's no longer here. There's a bunch of grass and weeds. We just haven't capped this. Our intent is to fill it with some dirt and some gravel and stuff. But right now, to get the buffalo over here, there is a lot of gnats right here. Wow, mosquitoes. But we're just going to put a couple T-posts, wrap some barbed wire. I just don't want the buffalo accidentally walking into the middle of this in the night. So we're just going to put some obstruction, a couple strands, lock this off a little bit, and then come back in weeks in the future and fill it up. So let's get cracking on this, drive some of these T-posts, and wrap this wire. So we've got that blockaded off. It's time to go back up top side. We've got the hay rings we have to move over here and get the water set up, make sure it's running, and then start getting everybody over. It's gonna be good. In this hay. So this is the hay that's left over. There's a pile there, and then there's a pile in these other two, just little, but I hate losing the hay, so I'm not like dying to get them over real quick, but I wanted to kind of encourage them, so we kind of dragged out around the pasture a little bit, and they came over. Hopefully they just start getting the munchies. So anyway, Charlotte's putting down the camera, and we're going to start loading these puppies up because, of course, it's my phone. So, anyway, bear with us. Let's get these loaded up.
It's a good thing we brought those tie downs. I don't think the 2 would stay. I don't know. Oh, there's some in the back of the truck. I can get those. Hi, baby. Hi, baby. Look at the babies. You look hot. The hot ladies? Oh, that's right. Eat the hay. Eat it all gone real fast.
Alright, Pasture 7, dropping them off. Here we go. We got some of the crappiest spot you can find, and that's where we're going to put this. Hopefully it gives some good soil building nutrients. And it helps everything. Grass is plentiful. All this spot is very just dead. There's one. I'm going to put the next one over here. I'm kind of away from this water draining spot. Go get my third one, and also the water valve put in the water tank right now. full from rainwater, and it's time to let him in.
Minerals.
Oh, yeah, we need to bring the big whole thing over, and we're gonna stick it way up top so it's easy for us to fill and monitor. So, anyway, let's get number 3. He's such a sweet little guy. He's a chubby dude though. He's big. Ahmed, if you haven't known or been following too much, Ahmed and Bartok are brothers. They're the 2 boys. They've grown up together. They spend a lot of time together. And 126 is getting close to having a baby. She's getting full in the back end. Anyway, Ahmed, for being only 3.5 when he was weighed, was over 1,600 pounds, which means he's been a pretty big boy. Bartok was, what, 1,460? So, but Bartok, I think, is the dominant one. So, I don't know. Okay, Charlotte, I'm gonna need your help putting this sucker in. It's got a little girth.
Alrighty.
All right, we'll catch you later. We're gonna grab the valve, and we're gonna catch you later back at the other pasture. Most infertile part of ground. And let's get moving to the water, and then we're just pulling hay. Then it's the exciting time for buffalo. Our first move, right? From pasture 6 to 7. That'll be good. All right, let's get out of here.
All right, so that's the water in pasture 6. Looks pretty good. And that's from the rain.
So in pasture 6, there are 2 other spots for water sources. Big pond over there and then the creek. Well, in this one, we don't have those 2. And so we haven't probably used as much water as we would have been. They've been drinking out of here because they would drink over there. They're going to be drinking a lot more of the water from here because they don't really have any of those other accesses. So we're gonna have to start tracking the water more closely in the tanks. And also, I swear this thing's been raining like 12 inches in the last couple months. So I mean, it's just been every week it's been rain. So they're gonna be drinking more of this water. We're just gonna keep track of it. And we've only got 10,000 stored gallons, and I'm estimating they drink about 3,000 a week. So as summer hits, we're gonna be pulling from the front lake like we used to for the other ones. And I'll kind of show you how we're gonna do that, because we're gonna have to pull. And hopefully I don't break my trailer tires again. All right, let's open her up. There we go, baby.
You like that noise, don't you?
Just bringing it home. Otherwise we won't take advantage of the T-post. All right, it worked. Let's let him out. Okay, we've got all the cows moving in a line. Charla is way yonder, and they're coming in. Now, we have to count and make sure we have 32 adults And I'll try to count the babies. So that's 2 adults, 1 baby, 3 adult. Uh-oh, the baby's not going. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9, 10. We got both boys. 11, 12. I'm trying to get away from the gate because they're getting kind of confused. 13. Count the babies! 14. Wow, this may take a while, guys. 15. 16 coming through, all right. 17. 'This will be 23. Sorry guys, I had to cut out for a little second. 24. 25. 26. 27. 28. 29. Oh crap, I'm off. 30 and 31. This might be a brand new baby. Last one, it's really small. Does this one have an ear tag on it? Yeah. That's probably 132, just had a baby. This might be another one. So we're gonna count babies now and recount adults. And yeah, sorry, I was looking back to see if we had any more. But I think this one is 132's baby. She lost her ear tag and she doesn't have an ear tag. So that's probably hers. And the baby looks a little wet, you said? So anyway, let's count and I'll let you know. There they go, running out to fresh pasture. Some of them keep going. Slow down there, little girl. So the bison, wow, they went moving fast. So they took off down that hill and they're gonna check their perimeter. And we hadn't locked this gate yet. They just moved faster than I thought. And they started booking it. So Charlotte and I are gonna go around. We think 132 had her baby. She was kind of the standoff as one of the chickies when we were bringing in feed, and then the last one through this time. So we think she's the only one that had a baby. So we're gonna go verify all of that. I'll leave it down below around here. If that is the only one or if there's others, I'll tell you. But otherwise, we're gonna wrap it up here. We're gonna do some hunting and figuring out what's going on. So thanks for joining us. We got Pasture 7 done. Congratulations to us. Throw a party, do whatever you want, but it's a relief, all right? Now there's some stuff we still gotta do, but they're here. So we're gonna be working back and forth and rotating them, probably a couple weeks here, do some work over there in the meantime, and then just go back and forth. But one thing I did notice, I wanna tell you, they all took off. They didn't stay for the hay. The ones that even stayed around up at top were eating grass. So that's good. We only dropped 2 bales and we're gonna see how they do on this grass. And that's the whole point. Eat it and then I wanna mow it. So anyway, thanks for joining. Like and subscribe, please. This is just the start. 187 acres. We're building it from scratch. First generation farm.
On the weekends.
On the weekend only. And so this, we just bust nads on a Saturday, hot, cold, rain or whatnot, and we get stuff done. So we don't make tons of progress like everybody else, but we make progress. I'm gonna stop talking. I'm gonna go find, holy crap, you can see them right there. They're staring at me. Can you see that fellow?
Let me get a zoom on them.
Let's see if we can zoom that.
Oh, there they are.
There she is.
I think she found her perimeter.
All right, they'll find that little water creek down here.
Yeah, they will. That's good.
All right, so whatever I was just saying, I have no idea. All right, just glad you guys could join. Keep with us. All right, subscribe, and we're gonna keep putting out this content for a while. All right, too many things to do, a lot of fun stuff. All right, see you. Bye. You can just hear them ripping up this grass and eating it. Good, good, good. They seem very happy.
I wanna stay with you.